Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and I have back problems already. 26 years old with back problems. It's a fun time.
It's like an epidemic at work. Like I feel like a lot of people have.
Dude, I slept weird last night. Like I was in this like weird ass position just sleeping, and I don't know what happened, but the right side of my back is not right today.
I did that once.
Yeah. Maybe some underwater therapy would be helpful for me.
You're way older than me though, so like you're ancient. Basically.
Did you say way older?
You're way older than me.
I'm like 2 years older than you.
You are 2 years older.
Not even. Actually, yeah. No, you were in November.
I'm 24 now. I just turned 24.
I'm 27. So yeah, I'm 2.5 years.
You old piece of shit. What did we watch today?
Well, speaking of underwater therapy that I mentioned briefly, we're
underwater
watching Avatar: Way of the Water. We got.
Are you saying this movie's therapy?
No, I was saying water therapy and kind of Way of the Water.
No, I got that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying here. All right. Anyway, the quick blurbs of this movie before we get into it is it's stunning visually, of course. It's James Cameron.
Yeah.
It's engaging, but it's also basic. That's the main things I take away from this movie. And it's all about family.
Yep. Let's get to it.
Exactly. Let's get to it. All right. So, kind of got a little pros and cons list. I think overall, I enjoyed this movie more than you so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Let's get the pros out of the way first.
People know my opinion on the first Avatar.
People know mine too.
I think it's the most. I think it's almost like a travesty that movie specifically is the highest grossing movie of all time. Come on. What are we thinking as like a society?
And then when Endgame passed it had to go back to theaters to
again. James Cameron's like, we just need to. It's just about time we released it. Shut up. I mean, well, it was a 10-year anniversary, so he's got that like little tiny leeway.
One of the actors involved in this movie, like she thought it had been released already. She's like, because they filmed it 4 years ago.
4 years
They
ago?
filmed this movie in 2017 and 2018.
Are you kidding me?
No. They filmed this movie that long ago, and she thought it released already.
Wow.
And she's like, I probably shouldn't have said that much. So.
I mean, okay. So, yeah, based on following up the original Avatar, 2009, this movie obviously is very well put together technically. And I want to visually and technically, auditorially, all the technical stuff, that done very well. Behind the scenes, people really did their job correctly with this one.
Took the time with it.
The 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Well, 13 years technically, because James Cameron had an entire quadrilogy or some shit.
He had to write everything out. He had to write the fourth one before he could even start production on the second one. That's something I read too. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I know.
So, but the stupid thing is, well, I'll get to this later, but the writing's the weakest part. Like it always has been. You know, if you spent, I don't know how, at least 15 years on this franchise, right? Like
at least
already
world building and everything involved. Yeah.
I don't know. Storytelling's just come a long way, I guess, because like the entire MCU happened in between the first one and the second one. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
I guess the heyday of Marvel. We'll see if it comes around again. But
the golden age.
You know what I mean, though. Like we've had a lot of like deep journeys with these with characters, and we've understood. Like I've certainly learned a lot.
It's because
from
the world
2009
is built so well, and you understand most of the characters and their motivations, their weaknesses, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Which is what we actually got in this Avatar movie. We got more of the depth of the characters.
Some decent arcs. Yeah, I'll give it that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so like, what can I say that's positive about this movie that is like
the acting,
praising
the acting?
No, see, I gotta argue about that.
Okay, so what particularly?
Certain people.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I would say the kids were really well done. For the most part. Not the youngest kid. He was annoying as fuck.
Who's the youngest one?
The youngest boy.
Oh,
the one that kept going.
The main character?
Kept getting in trouble, yeah.
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 Nowak?
Yeah, Nowak, yeah. He kept getting in trouble. His dad's like, dude, bro, come on.
I think Spider.
I loved Spider.
I like the idea of him. I hate his actor.
He's Tarzan.
Yeah, but fuck, he is Tarzan.
I know.
Acting wise, you know,
Kid was really well done.
Who's what?
The kid did a really good job with
Nowak?
Yeah, no, Spider.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was the best
I hated it.
I thought he was the best part.
He's just like running around like he's grunting way too much and like it was just so.
Yeah, well, he had that moment with the other water people when they were like burning down the village and everything. He's like, "I'm sorry" or whatever, and like he couldn't do anything. You kind of
that was
felt
that was a good scene.
You kind of felt like the pain that he was going through. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't do anything, even though this is his father.
Yeah,
fucking Stephen Lang's character is back.
Sure. What is the whole? I don't. Dude, when I first saw it, when he wakes up, I could not tell the difference between him and Jake Sully. I thought like because it just goes from like the sky people are coming in, and then it just cuts to 1 year later, and then he's waking up, and like another blue person's waking. I thought they kidnapped Jake somehow, and they shaved his head a little bit, and because he looked kind of the same, but like
their facial structures are very similar.
Yeah.
But no, they kind of had to give him like a buzz cut. That's how told the difference.
So there's a lot of like things questions I have of like. And I know you're going to try to answer them because, like,
I'll try.
You like this movie more than me, and you want to like it. I understand that.
I like it a lot more than the first one.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's really easy to like it more than the first one.
It's more engaging.
It is more engaging. I'll give it that. But, like, for me, the first Avatar is, like, 2 stars. It's very, like, because I don't go to a movie only for the visuals and only for like the movie experience. I go to be told a good story. That's the reason you rewatch a movie over and over again. It doesn't matter. Like you have one experience in the theater, like, oh, that was really cool, but you're not going to go to a movie theater every time you watch that one movie. You know what I mean?
James Cameron said you're going to want to watch this one over and over again, even if you.
I'm not going to buy a ticket for this movie over and over and over again.
He's too full of himself.
Yeah, he's
like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, but like Christopher Nolan is at least quiet about it a little bit.
He's not.
No, he's quieter than James Cameron.
But he shows it. He shows his superiority complex in every movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I disagree with him on film is the only thing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So
let's start from the beginning of this movie. Let's get into the actual movie for a second. So, like, the very little plot we have in the beginning is, as you said, it goes to 1 year later after, like, all this shit happens. We get introduced to the new family and everything. And that's, like, the first 45 minutes. That's it. There's really nothing else that happens in the first 45 minutes besides getting to know the family. I did like Sigourney Weaver's character, her Kiri. I did like that.
So wait, Sigourney Weaver is playing that young girl? Okay, I thought, because I know she's, like, a clone / daughter of this.
That's the question they unanswered.
What the fuck? Okay.
That's what the third one.
It's for the third one. Oh my god. It's
probably what it's for the third one. It's teasing. It's keeping you interested for 5 fucking movies, Danny.
I do not like this franchise. It's Pocahontas in space, man. Come on.
That was the first one. This one's more like
this one is I'll give it this. It's the only like version of like Dances with Wolves, Last Samurai, Pocahontas, where they've gone after the guy joins them, you know? Like now we get to see what happens afterward.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting place to bring it because it's like, there's just I haven't seen the first Avatar since like 2010.
Yeah, I watched it this year earlier, so I mean,
what happens with Jake Sully's body? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't remember.
Because like it's my understanding in the first one, he is an avatar. He is a human uploading virtually to this, blue suit, basically.
I think there was like...
Does he get resurrected by the life tree or some shit like that? Like, I don't know. And if... You know what I mean?
I don't exactly remember.
Because, like, how does he get to genuinely be this, like, is he like, remote? Is his body remotely somewhere else, like, on, like, the ship? Because there's some humans that are left on the on the planet that operate on a base or whatever, but like, do they? I assume that's a pretty big plot hole if they don't explain that. So I assume they explain it somewhere.
They've got to explain it somewhere. Like, I don't think that's stupid. I don't think James Cameron's that stupid. So I think we'll leave it that was answered. We just don't remember exactly what it is.
I think James Cameron is that stupid, but
oh man. Okay.
I'm just joking. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of inconsistency because like. Literally, okay, so they explain in this movie, they re-explain it again. They have to wear the breathing masks, right? Because humans cannot breathe Pantoran air, right? Mm-hmm. They say that very clearly in the movie. Like, you can survive for maybe 10 seconds. Then they have a scene where Edie Falco, of all people, is showing the new Avatar, or Stephen Lang's Avatar body around, being like, "Hey, this is what we're doing here," and she's wearing a mask, and everybody in the background is not wearing a mask.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. That was weird. That was really like I did notice that, and I was like, "What?" That was very weird.
You said it like 10 seconds ago. Like, you're outside. I don't even know why I'm really mad at this right now. I seem mad, but I'm not really mad.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're just confused and you want answers. I get it.
This is the highest grossing, movie of all time. Why isn't it culturally relevant or good?
I think it's not necessarily culturally relevant to us, but it's to like it's very similar to like Native Americans and all that stuff and how they've been invaded and all that stuff. It's more of a cultural impact in that way of people being conquered by other civilizations and whatnot.
Okay.
That's the commentary it's been, talking about for the last 13 years. And that's all I get out of it.
I get that, but like,
there's there's like the spiritual sense of these things, which it's still not fully like explained to what the spiritual aspect of this tree is. Both of these trees, the underwater one and the one in the first one.
So I think it's been 10 years since I've seen the movie.
Yeah.
So what's the god's name? Yahweh or whatever? They said it like 3 times in this movie. The one that Sigourney Weaver's daughter's clone twin thing,
dude,
can feel her heartbeat or whatever.
I don't remember. I wasn't paying that much attention to that.
I saw it an hour ago.
Because this movie is so overstimulating with the visuals, it kind of gets you trapped in that mindset. You can't really follow too much of more of a plot because you're so enamored with these underwater visuals that are like so fucking breathtaking, honestly. Like
if it was just a picture, I'd be like, whoa, that's a really well done, pretty picture. Good job. But the fact that they feel the need to do this weird frame rate thing.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Ramped it up to 60 frames a second, and then sometimes it would look like it's like 15 frames a second.
He was messing with frame rates a lot in some parts, and I was like, this is weird.
Like, if there's one thing that The Hobbit is criticized for, like overwhelmingly, it's that they shot it in 48 frames a second and it looks like dog shit. If there's one thing Gemini Man is criticized for, it's the same thing. They've shot it in 60 frames a second. It doesn't work. Don't do it. Like,
yeah, it's definitely weird at points.
I'm just frustrated.
I can tell you're frustrated, and I don't know why.
I don't think James Cameron's that great. The Titanic. It's okay movie.
He knows how to do a sinking ship.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie is a lot of callbacks to his former movies too, which is really funny.
I want to see how this franchise would do if there wasn't constant like, oh, he actually shot this underwater, and they recreated so you know how Nolan
he did shoot this underwater.
I know, but who gives a shit? It still looks like shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think it does.
Still frames, it looks okay, but
maybe because you saw it in 3D, I didn't. I saw it in regular standard.
I did what James Cameron told me to. You got to see it in the biggest theater in 3D. Make your eyes hurt.
See, I didn't do that because it would make my eyes hurt. And
it did. It did. 3 hours long. Imagine going, like looking like that.
See, maybe because I wanted to try and figure out if there was actually a story, so I didn't. It still looked breathtaking even in just standard viewing of the movie. So
it's pretty good.
I feel like you could have just done that.
The sweeping landscape shots. And like a lot of like the when they're like just chilling in the movie and they're just like kind of right when like the Sullys get to the water camp.
Yeah, and then they're being a family. That's actually like a really good, nice part of the movie. Like they're just trying to figure shit out. It's like
I like
these little adventures.
Yeah, it's they're adapting like, so it's usually like the story goes, well, they already told it in the first one. The guy assimilates to this tribe and they live happily ever after, right? What happens when there's different tribes that they, so now they have to go from one tribe to the other and adapt that way? I thought that was really cool. Like, you could really see like the
culture shift that they got.
Navi,
Yeah,
that they're they have like bigger tails, bigger arms and stuff.
Yeah, they got thicker tails. Like, they got these thick ass tails.
Yeah, it's like a fucking fin.
Yeah,
yeah. Slaps one guy in the face with it at one point.
Yeah,
that was kind of funny.
I got all these kids were pissing me off so much. I'm like, oh, don't leave the poor kid. I was like, oh, and then Tolkien saves him. I like Tolkien a lot. He was cool little whale.
He's the chief's son, or Tolkien.
Tolkien was the whale, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, the whale thing. Okay,
whale thing.
The one with the chopped off fin, right? Okay.
Yeah, he was
cool.
Exiled.
I like that whole
parallel they had going on there with.
I still don't understand why he was legitimately exiled.
Well, he was.
Did they just not believe him?
They didn't believe him. Yeah, they just didn't believe him. Like,
okay.
Because they thought he destroyed all of those people and all that stuff, but it was really the sky people. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I think
I kind of paid attention to that a little more. I was like, oh, that's weird, but okay. The parallel between Tolkien being an outcast and then the youngest son of Jake Sully being an outcast as well.
Yes.
That was a nice parallel, and it kind of fit really well with the story.
See, he has a decent arc where it's like, like he's like, I know what it's like to be a failure.
Yes.
And like,
trying to relate.
He keeps fucking up and like,
And he really fucks up at the end, but I mean.
Yeah. Basically gets his brother killed.
Yeah.
Well, because he's the whole reason that the fucking third act happens.
Dude, that was a gut punch. That was a little bit of a gut punch. I was like, oh, fuck. I knew at the very beginning one of them was going to die. So I was like, which one is it?
That's my favorite scene when the son dies.
Yeah.
Because that is like where everyone is like acting at the top of their game. Like, my heart went like, oh, like, oh no. Mm-hmm. Well, the kid, like, he's very believable, like death, where he's like really hyperventilating. He's like, I want to go home. And then like,
he wasn't bulletproof because there was this randomly shooting at him and he got shot. And that's the way it goes.
And then, Jake is like, like, oh yeah, we're going to go home. It's going to be okay. Like you could really feel that,
Yeah.
And then I got to ruin it again. Zoe Saldana comes in. However, I think she had maybe like 2 scenes
where she wasn't crying or really angry.
Right? In this,
she can never have fun in these movies.
My son is dead. Like the way she exclaims or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like screeching, kind of like, dude, like just chill out.
I mean, yeah, I would be like that too, but it's just, can she just be happy? Can she have a happy arc for once?
Like, I'm still not like. She's not a happy person.
I know, it sucks.
Everything is like some sort of doom. Yeah. Like, I love how they set up kind of like a Catelyn Stark type thing, like very briefly. Like it's very not built upon. Where she hates Spider because he's human, and then that was like a single line said by Jake, and then that's the crux of the climax at the end.
Yeah. It's It
would have been fine if you like built on it. But like, Spider has to disappear for like the whole movie.
Now I want to talk about Kiri a little more, Sigourney Weaver's character.
Okay, that's right.
These waterbending powers she's got. It's a little weird. I'm like, what's going on here? So I think that's more of a tease for what's else going to happen in the third movie. She's going to like tap into these powers more or whatever she has.
I bet they're going to do some bullshit where like she is like the reincarnated god of the Na'vi or some shit. I can see it going that route.
It might be, yeah. I mean, it's very possible, and they did film both of these back to back. I'm pretty sure 2 and 3. So,
the 3 apparently is already. He already handed in a cut that's 9 hours long.
No, and
I'm not doing that.
I also saw.
I can't do it, Jim. I can't do it.
He said in an interview, I don't know how long ago, but he's like, yeah, if 2 fails, he's going to end it with 3. So good. He has a plan to end it with 3.
The thing is, though, it's not failing. Okay, but what's his number that it needs to be successful?
2 billion, right? Pretty sure it was 2 billion.
That's what I kept hearing, but I'm like, that's too high of a number.
Pretty sure it was 460 million to make this movie. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Pretty sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, IMDb said something different, but I saw an article that said it was like close to 460 million. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how do you get maybe?
Dude, this franchise just in my opinion, it's just not good enough to justify that much money.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like,
Put this behind Star Wars. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah, and
Oh,
Marvel, even with all their downgrades they've had in the last few years, it's still better than this. So it's
Yeah, well, okay. Well, so like, it takes 4 years to make this fucking movie.
well, I mean, yeah, they probably
Everyone
took the time.
hit like.
Because all the graphics people were tied up with Marvel.
Just think, these kids in this movie that we're seeing now,
Yeah.
filmed their scenes back when they were this. Back when Stranger Things was just coming out. So now, like, you see like the progression of like age we've seen those young actors go through. Those actors in this movie are that age now. How weird is that?
It's very strange.
They got to have a time jump in the next one.
I don't think it's gonna be too much of a time jump.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they can just
filmed them
CGI
back-to-back.
them and.
They filmed them back to back too. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, they filmed 2 and 3 back to back.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very weird. And I hate they didn't kill Stephen Lang off again. So he's still fucking alive.
They're trying to do this Obi-Wan Darth Vader thing with
It's
them.
really annoying.
I don't.
Yes, his character is not likable, but like, why does he had to keep coming back? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I like Stephen Lang.
I do
He's
too.
probably like the overall like thing that I like most about this movie. He's just
I disagree.
he's
with
very
that.
villainous. I like him a lot. In that other scene I liked with the sun dying. So it's weird. When I was watching the scenes that were where they were all just kind of on their downtime and just hanging out and like we're learning to like we're watching like the kids go through the forest and like
or learning how to swim and all that stuff.
yeah, all that stuff. That was when I was watching it. I'm like, okay, what the fuck are we doing right
It's
now?
to see the visual experience.
But looking back at it, that's
Yeah.
my favorite part of the movie. It's really weird.
That's what you go for. You go for the visuals. You don't go for the plot.
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
exactly what you're paying for.
I guess
That's what he wants.
maybe I just have a beef with like society.
James Cameron.
I don't know. James Cameron. He also, contributed to ruining his own franchise with Terminator. So that's a different story.
Yeah.
I just think it's just I've always been jealous or like slightly resentful towards people because like the the vast majority of entertainment or
Yes.
people like say what do you or what's your hobby? So a lot of people say music, like
Hey.
I haven't met anybody who likes movies quite as much as me
Ron.
on like a
Cameron.
yeah, Ron or Cameron's probably the closest, and then
Nick Padula.
Nick Padula. Yeah. But like they're very like film.
Niche.
I'm very like I like all this cool Star Wars shit. But then Sean is like, I just like shit that blows up. He's making me look bad, So nobody has really my sensibility when it comes to movies and TV, right?
It's different, man.
That I've met. But like everyone can be like, I love all kinds of music. And like, there's
I do not.
okay. Nobody likes my I haven't met like people who like or they grow out of my type of music that I like. But I only like a niche part of music. It's just and then what people
Johnny Craig.
Yes. And when people go to see this, this Avatar movie, oh, it's a pretty movie. That's it. That's all that's to
that's
it.
what
They
it's
don't
there for.
care about the story. They don't care about
Exactly.
characters getting involved in it.
That's all it is, man.
The box office proves it because that's the
spectacle.
general audience. It's just sad to me. I don't know.
Everybody's like, oh, look at all this technology. Look what all this can do. It's all a part of, Hollywood being like, look at this. Look what we can do now. And then they're spreading the word across social media, especially now.
Yeah.
And especially in the early days when Avatar first came out in 2009. That's how the word got out about Avatar.
Yeah, that was
That's
one of the
what-
first kind of campaigns online.
And that's what really made it skyrocket. There's another thing I want to talk about for the third movie that they kind of hinted at with, Tolkien's brain fluid that has immortality.
Yeah,
Like that whole thing, which is what the people on Earth want,
right.
the Sky people.
That's
so,
unobtainium 2.0.
Yeah, so it's like, interesting. That could be a cool plot point if they can develop it a little further. I just don't know how it's going to factor in to this life tree stuff with Kiri and how she's connected to it all. If they can make that, or they can somehow make that work, it could be a pretty cool finale, the way they could line it up.
If this is the finale for the third one, I know
Exactly.
he said
I
he wanted to make 6 of them. Like,
they're supposed to come out every other year.
which I guess isn't really unheard
Next one
of.
doesn't come out
like,
until December 2024. That's when the next one comes out.
so kind of soon
2 years, yeah.
compared to their 13-year-long wait before. There's something about that, like this whole, indigenous tribes living their life, very, very primitive. And then, the people with technology, imperialism is bad. We already know this.
That's it's just another movie about that. It's just another way of showing that. That's really all the plot is. So, we think we're better than you, we're going to take over you, that kind of thing. And we're going to take your resources,
What is different about this movie other than like the arc of the son not being a failure towards the end that's different from the first movie?
See, I was reading stuff online about that. Nothing. It's the
We've seen it before. You know what I mean?
Except for that one little part.
Yeah.
And the stuff they tease, which is, that's kind of cool.
If they go like weird, say something different, like go to Earth, see if like there's like,
Weird.
Have like the Pandorans invade Earth or some shit. We give to them what they give to us.
It'd just be Avengers.
What do you mean?
It'd just be like,
Oh yeah, it would be event. Yeah. But like this time we know what it's like from the villain's perspective. I don't know. You could do some cool stuff with that.
They could. I think maybe that's probably in the works for like the 5th movie, like the finale, the big finale. They go back to Earth and
like they do like this is like their origin story for like kind of like Planet of the Apes or something like that, right?
yeah, inspiration for sure.
That'd be cool. That'd be going in a different direction. We've seen it before.
There is stuff to look forward to, but it's just still not really. The plot is not grabbing at either of us, I don't think. But
No.
it's just standing for the visuals right now because they're not going to get much better in 2 years. They're really not.
I really don't think there was that much of an improvement from 2009.
I think there was a lot of improvement.
Specifically mocap wise, I don't think
No,
so.
not mocap wise, but like attention to detail. How you could see the fucking hairs on their skin in this one. Dude, you could see all that shit. It was crazy. Like,
if you showed me a picture of Caesar from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes in 2014, I would have said that's a real ape.
I know, but it wasn't in the first one either. It's not groundbreaking in that aspect, but it just looks a lot better, a lot cleaner than it did in 2009.
I'll have to watch it again. I saw it in shitty 3D.
Maybe
too.
not in theaters.
Not in theaters. Yeah, I'll watch it on my my 4K TV.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not calibrated correctly.
Let's see if there's anything else I got.
Fuck you, Game of Thrones. Sorry,
Another show that's
I just
like
thought
that
of Miguel's.
1899 has that too, right? Your TV has to be set a correct way to watch it.
Yeah,
something like that.
What kind of bullshit is that? Like, I got so mad when Miguel Spach is like, well, your monitors weren't calibrated correctly. My product was perfect in every technical sense. Fuck yourself. God, and then he did the same fucking shit.
I'm upset segment.
This is
I'm
upset. This is I'm upset.
This is a public service announcement by whoever the hell is upset today.
I'm upset. He did the same shit in House of the Dragon. You didn't see it, but there was an episode. I think it was episode 5. They're in broad daylight, and then all they did was just put like a fucking like dark filter on it to make it look like it's like, oh, it's supposed to be dusk now. You can see it's.
So Solo.
Yes, exactly. Dude, they had a shot kind of like overhead with like these characters walking. You could see the harsh shadow of the sun on the floor.
Namaste.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Let's see if I got anything else on this movie.
There's nothing. See, the thing is, this is a 3-hour movie.
Family.
Of fucking, like, it's not even like.
Family, Tarzan, Pocahontas. It's a mix. It's a mix of a lot of these.
It's not mixed well enough together, I think. Because it's so obvious that this is, we have, like, like, what if Tarzan was in Pocahontas? What if they teamed up?
Yeah.
And then, so one more thing. I want to dive into do you have an explanation? Do you think, the Marines, I guess, Stephen Lang and his crew, by the way, a couple of them get, like, resurrected. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Same thing as Stephen Lang.
No, I mean, like, after they die in the first kind of battle showdown thing, like 3 of them get shot with arrows and they're all back to life in the end of the movie. That's another thing I noticed.
I didn't see that, but okay. But what were you gonna?
I could have sworn the girl with the mohawk with the bubble gum. I could have sworn she got killed. But anyway, their whole plan is like, oh, we need to like go the full go full Na'vi for this. We got to go full native, and like we got to like learn the language and like go full get in deep. That didn't go anywhere. They just they were still in their military gear, and like they're very clearly not native.
That's why they had Spider.
So what? To teach them a couple language lessons here and there?
No, see, that was their plan initially, but then there's like, nah, we're just gonna. You can interpret for us, and then we're still gonna do what we want to do. That was literally their plan.
I guess I missed that.
Yeah, no,
I thought they were still going in like we need to like
no.
infiltrate the forest or some shit.
No, you definitely missed that. They did explain.
Okay. I guess I can't be mad at that, but
yeah, no more.
I don't know why I'm so mad about this. I should be. Whenever I think of this franchise, I'm just so apathetic. But now I'm actually kind of mad. I don't know why. Do you know why? I don't know.
I don't know why.
I'm upset. Number 2.
I don't know why I'm upset.
Man.
Is there anything else you want to either speculate on or talk about with this? Because I am out of notes. So
I'm very interested to see what happens with Sigourney Weaver's Kiri / her dead avatar that was floating around that she kind of like was like laying on top of in the tube thing right in the beginning. I don't know what
that was Sigourney Weaver's actual avatar they had in the first one. That was her avatar before she died. Yeah, that was.
But like it's still like in suspended animation because they say like we don't know where Kiri came from, or is it? You know what I mean?
Well, she was pregnant though.
With herself?
No, remember. No, she got pregnant. That's what they're trying to speculate on who the father is for Kiri, who Kiri's father is. Nobody knows because she was pregnant before she died, is what they're saying. Yeah.
Now it all makes sense. So now this is turning into like a Peter Quill type thing. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, that's the only reason I'm interested in the next one. I was hoping Jake Sully would die in this one.
Yeah, mixed with the brain fluid thing, and then mixed with her powers. Like, where is this going? How does it kind of evolve?
I'll admit, there's a very thin base that can justify a sequel.
Yeah.
Very thin.
It's on very
thin ice.
Like 1/8 inch ice.
Yeah, like and I'm starting to kind of be disillusioned by Zoe Saldana. I'm not sure if it was just James Cameron directing her. I did not like her in this movie.
Well, they even mentioned it's like, oh, your bitch wife or whatever. It's like,
yeah, you're right.
She's crazy. She's straight up crazy. That's literally what Stephen Lang was saying the whole time. So
yeah,
they kind of just made fun of that or whatever. So I mean, I guess they poked fun at it, which is cool because like they didn't really have Jake and Neytiri both took a back seat in this movie to the kids. So
yeah, like okay, so I really liked the whole kind of like schoolyard bullying kind of thing, and like I said, I really liked Nowak. Like I liked his character. I thought he was a little weak in the acting. That whole thing where he meets the toucan, the toucan thing, the whale shit. I thought it was a very kind of like, oh, we're friends, He's like, we're friends, yes.
Yeah, it was cute. I mean, he's the outcast bonding with another outcast. I mean, they're just like best buddies.
And
now he's dead.
No, his brother's dead.
Oh, you're right.
Is the whale dead too?
No, the whale's dead, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where the
I forgot the coolest part of the movie. What? Where he jumps, he flips, he does like a shamu.
Yeah.
He flips with he's got like the harpoon cord and he rips the boat in half and then rips off the guy's arm.
Oh, maybe he is still alive. Yes. I believe he is still alive.
Okay, cool. That was a badass scene.
You just saw it before me, so I don't remember.
Dude, by the time, like literally, I think right there was kind of where I checked out. Because I'm like, I saw what I wanted to see, and then there was another 45 minutes after that. Because I'm like, that's nothing. This movie would not fucking end. There was 3 different climaxes.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, shit.
I don't know. I'm thinking like, okay, so we're at like the, they get captured, or the children, or the Nowak, then the 2 daughters get captured, right? Yeah. On the first time, then Jake is like really slowly swimming, like he's going to snail's pace. He's like, or on his like little,
his little
shit
creature.
thing, yeah. He's like, and then like something, I think, the whale thing comes out of nowhere and starts the whole battle, right? And then, but then, a half hour goes by where they're still fighting, and then they get captured again. Then we have to have the shit where, like, the one-on-one, we have to have the Mexican standoff. Then, Neytiri almost kills Spider, and then Stephen Lang all of a sudden is just like, no, I care about this kid who isn't my son.
I guess my son, but not my son. Yeah,
he taught me a few words in the language. Oh, we're friends now.
No, it's actually his person avatar's son. That's Spider. Spider is actually Stephen Lang's real. It's like his son.
With the actor Stephen Lang?
No.
Okay.
His character.
But not the Na'vi version of it.
The person one.
Right, the one who he crushes his own skull.
He's got the memories, but he's not.
You gotta be a cold bastard if you crushed your own skull.
Yeah.
That's weird, man.
And then I still don't know why Spider saved him. That was really stupid.
There wasn't enough there. I really don't think there was enough there.
There's not enough of a connection between them to
one scene
justify that.
There's one scene where they're on the dragon thing.
Yeah.
And then, they're like, he's teaching him language. He's like, you gotta say nyai, or it's like, say it like different. And then I thought it was really weird. He's like touching his thigh, a little too high up too, And I'm like, is that supposed to be like a fatherly son thing?
I didn't even notice.
You didn't see it? His hand is like here's his crotch. His hand's like right here.
I don't remember that.
Go back. Well, no.
I'm not going back.
When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm going to show you.
You want to watch it frame by frame?
I want to watch this movie again. But yeah, there wasn't enough there for him to make that turn. Maybe out of pure, you saved my life, I'll save yours, I guess. But now we can very pointedly, just like we blame Peter Quill for causing the end of the universe, we can pointedly blame Spider for whatever fucking happens in the next movie. And how did he? So Jake, had a hard time breathing that entire time coming up.
Yeah.
Stephen Lang was unconscious, choked out, and underwater.
Yeah, I don't know.
And still survived the same amount, if longer, amount of time.
Completely flawed to me. I don't know where the hell that came from. It's like, whatever, fuck it, just get me out of this movie. So
I think that's all I have.
That's all I got too.
The only merit to this movie is, for me, one scene where it was good, really well acted, and then the visuals, sort of.
And then the thing to look forward to being Kiri's father, where she came from, what she's going to do next. That's really about.
Yeah, it opens up, if nothing else, I'm intrigued what comes next.
Yeah, because they kind of sort of half explained it, but like a quarter explained it. They barely explained it. And it's just enough of a tease where I'm just like, maybe I'll see this. Maybe not in theaters. Actually, not.
We're going to see it in theaters. I'm just for this show. And just the fact that
if we're still doing it in 2020,
we're still, I gotta see it in theaters just because this is one of those movies you go to see in the theater for that experience.
Yes,
I will not watch it again because the story sucks. Sort of, it's better than the first one, but it's not great.
Yeah, exactly. And now there's also another thing I wanted to kind of compare it to. What are the underwater scenes in Wakanda Forever versus this? Because they're both Disney. Wakanda Forever had less time to do this, and it kind of looks a little like a mix of Aquaman and this, the underwater scenes. But it was still filmed underwater for that one too.
Yeah, I think Wakanda Forever, if they were definitely going for more of a realistic, because they've literally filmed it underwater with barely any lighting. So
it's supposed to be dark. So
it's supposed to be dark, but this is a fantasy world. So I like it in Avatar where I can actually see what's going on. Yeah. They got these weird creatures that light up the sea and everything. Yeah. I like that better.
Cool stuff going on.
There's one scene where I think, was her name Kiri?
Neytiri.
No, the daughter, Sigourney Weaver. Kiri. She's hanging out on the side of the. Oh, by the way, the little bouncy walkway thing.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
That's cool. Yeah.
She's hanging out on the side of it, and she got her toes in the water, and then she's kind of looking up, and the water is so clear. You know, I've only seen water like that once in my life. It was like, I think it was in Cancun. It was so clear, like you couldn't tell that there was water until you saw like a little wave ripple. I'm like, that's really cool. And then the light is shining up at him because she's hanging out with all the little tadpole fishy things that are glowing.
The design of this movie, if nothing else,
Yeah.
is what's going to win it something this year.
It's gonna. Yeah, it's the only. Well, okay, it is a feat to do this movie because literally, 95% of the characters are CGI in some way. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, it does suffer a little bit because it's like I felt like I was watching a video game cutscene a lot of the time, especially because of the frame rate. That's what really drew me out of it.
I did notice that at some certain point. I was like, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it's definitely a little jarring.
Yeah.
If anything.
We're just clearly not. This is the closest to real that we're probably going to get for a while, but I can still tell it's not real.
Well, you're not supposed to tell it's real. I mean, same thing with video games. You're not going to be able to tell it's real.
I know.
Nothing's ever going to be like that.
I know. Not for a long time, at least, you know?
Yeah.
It would just be really cool if they could get there. We're kind of in like a rut, you know? We're stuck in the uncanny valley.
Okay, it's a little better than the uncanny valley. Come on.
Slightly better. The thing, 2016 was when they did Rogue One, and, Tarkin looked decent. Looked okay. I could believe it. I could suspend my disbelief and be like, yeah, that's Tarkin, whatever. But it was very clearly you could just tell something was off.
That's what I'm really excited for Indiana Jones. See how Harrison Ford comes off. The younger Harrison Ford. If that can look that good like they did in the trailers,
it looked
still.
There's one quick shot though. You gotta be.
I know.
Gotta be careful. Yeah.
I know. But that's the one thing I'm looking forward to with this movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, because they're gonna do it enough apparently in the movie to make it worthwhile.
We'll see.
Exactly. But anyway,
Captain Marvel did it right though. I'll say that
they did.
I could not tell Sam Jackson was not that age. You know.
Yeah, they did.
That's the one shining example
of
that I can really think of
all movies. Yeah.
Yeah, of all movies.
All right. Well, I think we've said our piece with Avatar. What do you give it?
I was gonna give this a 78, but after talking about it and really diving in, I'm gonna give it a 70. But then again,
what'd you give the first one?
So I said 2 stars. So what? That's under 60, right?
Yeah. It's probably in the 60s if anything. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like this one better than the first one. It's still not moving the dial. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first one I think I gave a 74, 75, somewhere in there. It was all right. I mean, nothing great. I'm also very generous with what I give. And this one, again, after talking about it, I have thought about it a lot more since I saw it this past weekend. It's going to get an 81, I think. I was originally going to give it an 85. It's definitely gone down for especially plot points and everything and stuff I've read about. I'm just like,
I don't want to ruin it for you, but that's my 2 cents.
It only brought it down 4 points. I mean, that's not bad because I still enjoyed the story overall.
Yeah.
I thought it was very engaging. Yes, it was very basic, but it was engaging, and that's what I like in a movie. If it can keep me interested for the 3 hours that it was doing until, I guess, the very end where it kept getting drawn out, I mean, it did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, but then this rewatchability, which I think that also brought it down. This is not going to have the rewatchability. It's going to have more than the first one, but it's not going to have much more than that.
Yeah. I mean, you also play around with rewatchability significantly the longer you make your movie, I think. That's kind of the main factor for me. If it's more than 2.5 hours, unless it's really good, I don't want to watch it again.
Infinity War, I will watch that over and over again.
Yeah.
No Way Home, I will watch over and over again. I'm glad that wasn't 3 hours long because it's got the rewatchability factor, and I love that.
Endgame, I've seen, all the way through 3 times, and that's a 3-hour movie.
I've seen it 4 times, so. Yeah.
But quite a few times, I skipped through a lot of it. I skipped through a lot of it,
Yeah.
The Batman I haven't seen again.
See, that's why I don't totally factor in rewatchability too much right now, because the movies are getting longer anyway, so I can't really
Yeah. If it's something I know that I'm really into, I'll watch a 3-hour Star Wars movie, no question. I don't, at least for the first time, I don't care if it's straight up bad, I'll watch it for at least once.
100%. I get that.
But like when I heard that this movie was going to be 3 hours long, I was thinking, oh.
And then you hear the 9-hour cut of the third one, which is like, oh God, here we go again. Yep. All right. Well, we are Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle at Seen It Beforecast. That's SCENE, It Beforecast. And on Twitter with the handle SIB_pod. I'm Dan.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Was, my letterboxd and serialized at DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was.
All right. Well, Avatar.
The Way of Water.
The Way of Water.
I forgot to mention. Sorry. So the only other thing I think about when I think Avatar is the SNL skit. Do you remember that one?
No.
Or it's titled Papyrus. Look it up. It's the only good thing SNL's done in like 10 years.
That's a lie, but okay.
Yeah, but the original font for Avatar was the Microsoft Word free font called Papyrus.
Yes.
They used the same fucking font, maybe as a joke for like all like the titles and the places and years and stuff.
Yep. Yep.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
a little cheeky.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good note to end on.
Good enough to end on. But yeah, so we'll see you next time for our last movie of this year, not season, this year. Join us for Babylon soon. It's been an honor as usual. See you next time.
Stay cool.